It's unmuted. All right, so it's not going to do anything. There it goes.
Okay.
Why is he adding
Should we just sit here and wait for it to happen?
Well, I mean, there's someone that's already like looking for me here.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, Jared, how's it going? Hi, Zach.
This is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I let these guys into my hotel room, so it's not gonna do anything.
No.
Get that.
Oh no! Don't be that person. Don't be that person, Robert.
Hold on, we're still like peeking or something over here.
Okay, go ahead.
I totally forgot that the. Okay, but it is like
It's starting.
it's going like it's showing up on.
Make sure
Oh my gosh, people! Yeah.
It is live. Yeah.
The
Yeah, let
gang's
me-
all here.
The gang is all here. Like that.
Yeah,
we're doing
they're
that.
just now starting to see it there.
All right.
Wow!
Hey
So,
Nick, hey man,
Hey,
man,
Dryden,
on
look at
King. We are live.
so we've got Robert down here in this lovely orange shirt.
How
We've
we all?
got Nick sporting his first time on camera, I believe.
That's true.
Face reveal.
That's true.
We've got Johan, otherwise known as Miniman 0404. Most of you call him for some reason. You got me. You might know who I am. And then we got Katie.
As an interjection, Gem Cat, you should be scared.
Oh.
Just as a point of reference.
So we're watching both chats, by the way, just so you guys know. We can see the Discord. We can see the.
And if it looks like we're kind of looking
No,
away-
NC Alarms, we're not going to watch the entire set of Toy Story movies.
I mean, if you want to, I'm the one who... They're streaming from my laptop, so if it's potato quality, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's
So-
no Mac.
So what you guys can do during this live stream is you can either type in our live stream chat channel on Discord, or you can go onto the stream and type in the chat, and I guess we can just roll and get started from there.
Well,
So-
yeah, but
Kind
kind
of.
of want to talk about how this all worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me just preface this by saying that pretty much the entire purpose of the stream was to kind of have a little bit of time with you guys. You know, we always talk in Discord voice chat all the time, but we never really, you know, sit face to face together. And this was the first time ever that any of us have met each other in person, with the exception of, you know, Zach and Katie, because they're like a friendship.
It's a little bit more than a friendship, but I'm
So,
working it.
I don't know, who wants to start as far as like telling the backstory, or do you just want me to take it from what started it?
Well, you're the primary reason for this, so go ahead.
Well, every year I do participate in a group called the National Community Band, and it moves from location to location every year. Last year it was in Tucson, Arizona. The year before it was Indianapolis. This year it happened to be just a stone's throw away from these three guys here. And then Mr. Incredible over here decided, oh, it's just to skip over the pond here. So he made the drive up. That was a
6
good
hours.
6 hours to come meet us, and it was kind of more of an impromptu thing, but it's really cool. I mean, I've been hanging out with Robert all day. Nick got here a little while after, and then these two got here maybe half hour ago. So other than that, we're just kind of hanging out. So if there are any problems with the stream, please @ moderator in the Discord chat.
It's
So
like
we
the
can
only
fix
time
that.
we will let you at moderator.
Yeah. So
Right.
we are not at Zach's house to answer your question. We are sitting in a hotel room. It is my hotel room, and that's that.
He owns the hotel. Like,
Undisclosed location.
Broadcasting from an undisclosed location. It's Zach.
featuring that beautiful painting right behind you.
It is a beautiful
And Dick
painting.
Cheney.
Richard
I
Cheney.
think the
So-
kids in the chat are too young to understand that joke. Anyways.
Once again, we do apologize for potato quality. Since it was impromptu, I mean, like, we have my laptop HDMI'd straight into the TV here to watch what you guys got, but webcam isn't the greatest, but, you know, it'll work, and it's hotel lighting. So, pretty much, we're here to talk about whatever you want. It's kind of an AMA night,
And
to, like,
it's-
within the certain boundaries, you know.
Right. It's really important that you guys know that this is seriously the first time that any one of us, besides me and Katie, obviously, have met each other in person. So, yeah,
We
why
need
don't
to
you
be
adjust
louder.
that
Turn up
microphone?
your gain.
Turn up the gain.
Alright, we'll turn up the gains. We'll get them gains.
So, obviously, Robert's far away. Nick is surprisingly close to me, but, you know what? You know what?
You know what? I have a footrest.
Alright, well, there you go.
You have a footrest as well.
Adjusting my chair so I can be a little
Nick is surprisingly close in proximity to us. We're not going to set off the fire alarms because we're in a real building. Should we tell them what they are? We're not going to show them because we can't move the laptop.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a
they-
chart.
Looking at a Truler ES.
It's white. I think Katie should be the one to
Oh yeah,
describe.
Katie, can you give us a description of that alarm? Can you give us who's the manufacturer? Who's the?
It's simplex.
Oh, okay, okay.
Real quick to ask you guys, is the audio sounding a little bit better? We'll wait a second here just to make sure that, you know, you can hear us. I don't want anything to peak and just sound distorted.
Right.
Yeah, we were thinking about. Well, we were thinking like in hindsight, we probably should have brought like a blue Yeti, but
But we just brought a bunch of other stuff instead.
budget cuts, you know.
The budget
Yeah.
doesn't exist. Is really
There
what
was
we're
no
trying to say.
budget. This just kind of happened.
I mean, I kind of wish Zach paid me more, but
He doesn't
yeah.
pay us at all. We're being
No.
held here against our will.
Yeah, this isn't a hotel room. This is
Yeah.
the office of the
Don't-
basement.
Don't tell him that you two get paid.
Wait, you guys are doing paid?
I'm
So
totally
she
not
says it's a
ready.
flashy thing. Yes.
This is
Alright,
actually-
they finally got the volume.
Okay,
We're good.
so-
Get ready.
So we're about a minute behind them, but that's okay.
That's okay.
It's hotel Wi-Fi, so if it
Yeah.
craps out, I'm sorry. We can come back live on another device that doesn't use
Sound
Wi-Fi.
is getting louder and softer rapidly.
Somebody just go
New profile
picture
picture
for the chat.
Thank you for
Yes.
grabbing that. It's a good one.
Yeah,
That is a good one.
great screen cap.
So we talked about kind of going down the line and trying to so everything's a little more organized. You know, if you we kind of want to go through and see who's got questions for who and
Alright, Windows Master Race. Throw that man garbage in the trash.
Ari, I can be your dad now.
God.
Oh no.
oh boy.
This is
Even before Ari starts screeching on the stream.
Hawks into a voice channel.
Oh dear.
No, sorry, Will. We won't be doing Toy Story
No
tonight.
Toy Story.
No Toy Story.
Sorry, Will from NC Alarms.
We were thinking about doing, you know, closing time, but this dude and his monetization, you know.
We were
Yeah.
also thinking
Yeah,
about
that's it.
playing the Voltron Legendary Defender theme, but we don't want DreamWorks knocking down our door, so
They already want to know my location.
yeah, best not to mess with them.
Yeah. So let's see.
Look, there's Ari.
There she
My dad
goes. There's
now.
the Ree.
We're gonna be streaming for about an hour here.
What time
So
we got here?
I
got
It's
2014.
8:14, yeah. 20.
yeah. So what
Plebeian.
Yeah.
what is your favorite blinker thingy, Katie?
That one.
That one in
That
particular.
one.
The
Yes.
one that's on the wall.
The addressable true alert that she doesn't have to hear going off because it can self-test. So it'll only go bup bup.
But,
Wow. I
You-
know that.
Hey, Jack, just to respond to the image you've got there, I promise that in the coming days, you know, as we are off camera, you'll have a better image of all of us hanging out
Yes.
to enjoy. We've been heavily vlogging and, you know, taking pictures of things, so you can expect to see a video from my channel. I know Zach's doing something. Robert, are you doing anything
probably
with
not.
that?
It's just, and most of this is just going to be for like my own like, personal thing. So.
But you can expect something in my channel in the coming weeks, and I'm sure Zach will expedite his production because he's fast like that.
He
Well-
doesn't have the laptop.
You'll have Nick's sometime in May, but
Yeah. Videos returning in May. Robert said that I never specified the year, so I'm off the hook.
yeah. So
I'll get around to it at some point. Was it you? I'm sorry. I know somebody made the joke. But yeah, we'll see what I can do about that.
All right, we'll see you later, Downs. If we're not around, I hope you can watch
Nat
the,
has
the
a question
recording,
for Nick and Miniman when you're ready. So,
Yeah, do we just want to start going around? So you can start
asking questions.
asking some questions. I think for now we'll start off with just kind of general questions, but if there's a lot of them, we can kind of go person by person.
All
Does that
right.
sound good?
Well, Nat, go ahead and ask your question. We're here, so we'll watch for it here and just kind of comment on what's going on.
right.
Oh, Dryden's question actually just came in here first. Do you guys have a Simplex 2901 9833 Robert, Miniman, Nick, or Zach?
Negative.
I do not.
If
The
you
only
want-
mechanical horn I own is a Wheelock 7000 TT, and I hate it.
I do own one, so guess that makes me the only one in the group.
Yeah.
Dr. Boards, I actually beat you to the me and the boys meme there. That's kind of an intended picture later on, but you need to stop giving spoilers.
Yeah.
Does
Modify.
the LCD 80F work with that 9600 UDLS? I think it does.
But the
Isn't that the only one it works with? I don't think the AN80 does.
with the 9600,
Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Ari.
it's the other way around.
It is the other way around. I had it backwards. I'm sorry. The AN80 is the only one that works with the 9600 UDLS.
Downs life safety. We're gonna hold on to that question and probably save it for when we need it here. But yes, we'll tell you the stories of how we got into alarms here in a little bit.
Oh, I like that.
I think that'll be a
that's
good,
a good one
good
to end
round.
on.
Are we saving the stream for later though too?
I think
Yeah,
what it does
it
is YouTube
Yeah.
automatically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It'll
they'll have a recording so that way, if you miss any part of the stream or if something goes down, it's perfectly fine for you to just watch in the future. And we'll probably each publish a copy of the recording. I know I'll be getting a copy from Zach to publish, so that way you guys can see it there.
On YouTube, we have 2 questions: best first panel for anyone, and also what was your first panel? What made you do that panel?
So, as far as best first panel, the only one I can really attest to, and this kind of goes hand in hand with NatDog's question about first panel, the only one that I've ever owned that's functioned fully and properly is the MS5UD. Prior to that, I had parts from a Cerberus Pyrotronic CP400. It was a 4-zone conventional panel that had an expander for an additional 4 zones. However, I've been missing the main motherboard, so there's no way to get that to run.
What about your notifier?
The notifier, the System 5000, that actually came after the CP400. That one, I believe, if I recall, was either 24 or 32 zones that came out of an elementary school that I went to a very, very long time ago. But unfortunately, I, being the stupid collector I was at 14 years old, managed to reverse the neutral and hot wires on the power supply going in from the wall and blew it up. And I'm too cheap to spend money on a giant power supply that has $100 worth of shipping because there are a total of 7 transformers in it to drive a system like that. So,
Fantastic.
reason I chose the MS5 is because I liked the one Destin had and just how easy it was to program. It's pretty much the only panel I foresee myself owning for now.
My first panel was the MS4. It was not very good, and I got it for free from. It wasn't good because it was pulled for a reason, and the buttons didn't really work right. It was pulled from some system somewhere, and it was given to me by the inspector/service tech who was working on that at the time. I got a bunch of my first off alarms from him. So if you go back to my really old videos when I was first in the storage room, but with the MS4, you'll see it back there, and you'll see all those alarms that I got.
Hey bro, buy a System 5000.
As much as I loved that panel, I honestly have to say I don't think I'd ever consider purchasing one just because of, number one, the lack of the LCD screen, number two, the complexity with trying to program it by hand. So, yeah.
I'm really tempted to buy it. I just don't have any money.
But yeah, Dead Needle's got one that he just pulled out of service.
Yeah. So if anyone's looking for System 5000 and you happen to be around his area, talk to him. He's on the Discord, and you can find him there.
Alright, so I'm looking at Dryden's question here
Real
on YouTube
quick,
a little
real
while
quick.
ago.
Hey,
We're still going through.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we said
I'll watch
that.
that one then, yeah.
And he asked what we thought a good first panel was. I'm going to go with the MS5 or MS10 on that one because I think that it's really simple. It's
I wouldn't really go for
straightforward.
MS4. I know a lot of people recommend it, but I mean, those
They're kind of obsolete now.
yeah, and because the industry is moving a lot towards small addressable, oops, the industry's moving a lot more towards small addressable systems, even for like little, trusted little places. So that's kind of where we're headed in the industry. My first panel was the MS9050. Which I got for free. If you ever saw the first video that I posted to the
Hey, you're banned. You're done. I hope you realize that just went across a 46-inch television in front of all 5 of us.
That caught me, Ari.
Yeah.
It's on Instagram actually. But
So-
it could.
Yeah, if you look back, not very far because I don't post much on that channel yet. But if you look on the channel, there's the 9050. And that, I guess, got it because it was for free. It was given to me I said in the video that it was defective, and it was because of that internal ground fault, but I figured out since how to disable ground fault supervision, so I plan to use it until it bricks itself.
Alrighty, I can jump in on the question. The first panel that I ever owned was a Ansel AutoPulse 2000. I still have it. It shows my videos. It was free. That's why I got it. There wasn't much other reason for it. I'll make the first panels thing quick.
Hey, we can see you doing that. Please stop.
Oh dear.
We can't. We can.
We could, but I don't want to be that guy.
Alright.
Yeah, anyways, but I think I just gotta agree with the rest. The cheap little firelight panels are just, good enough for a beginner, because if you blow the thing up, that's the end of it. It didn't cost too much, and, it's a good way to just learn some of the technology behind it, and then you can start looking into some other stuff. While I'm caterwauling about my own panels, I saw somebody's question about the MPC 2000 I have. That's not the first panel I have, that's the last one I bought. And to answer that question real quick, yeah, I do still use that. Just haven't filmed anything about it recently.
Alright. I'm going to satisfy your taste to see what this looks like from behind the scenes. So I'm going to send you a picture.
Why do you have your flash on for everything?
It was filming
She wanted to see
outside.
the hat girl go by on the stream, and the chat went by fast too fast. So.
I'm sorry. So what was that question that you wanted to answer?
Oh, it's way up there. Can you go back to the question Dragon had, Robert?
Which
He had one a little while just after the MS5ED question.
Oh.
And it's not a Michigan accent I have, thank you. It is a Midwestern accent because that's where I am.
You guys are
And
blowing my Discord.
We have a lovely, let me just move right past you there, bud, kind of thing going on. So, sorry about that there.
That's the Manitowoc.
Was it the one where Dryden says, "How come you haven't made a video in a while?"
Yes, that was the one.
Oh, that one, yeah.
I think you should answer that one first.
Alright. Yeah, so I posted that one video that said that they would be back in May, and that was kind of a lie. I really did intend to start filming stuff again, but I just haven't really had a chance to get back to do that. So eventually at some point I'll start it back up again, but for right now I'm just kind of rolling through the jobs I've got. So we'll see when it can happen. Should be sometime soon. I got some exciting stuff coming for you guys that has kind of accrued while I haven't been filming. So I guess you guys will just have to wait patiently to see that. What about you, Robert?
Well, I'm kind of busy with work, and I am a full-time intern. And so I try to record what I can, but if it's something that I'm not allowed to record, I can't record it. There are some job sites that I just can't even pull out my phone to record or whatnot. So it's just mostly a matter of privacy. And because I'm not actually with my system, my 9050s in my hometown, along with just about all my collection. And so,
yeah, thanks. I just got that on my watch, Fire Alarm Favorites.
So I can't make a fire alarm video if I don't have access to my collection. So that's kind of how it be.
You have a panel.
I do have a panel. So
Should we talk about
that?
I thought I didn't get to answer the question. Maybe I just ought to go back home.
But
Bye.
I guess since you brought it up, Zach was joking about he made the video in his old system room where he's like, yeah, should I move? Should I expand? What should I do? And I commented on the video, can I have the 8005? And then he's like, and then we're all on a Snapchat group chat, and I tell him, can I have the i8005? And so, 30 to 45 minutes ago, we meet Zach and Katie in the parking lot, and Zach's like, okay, so I have a gift for the three of you, and he gives Nick a computer, he gives Miniman, he gives Johan a Wheelock AS, a signed, autographed Wheelock AS, and he opens up.
Oh,
if you want to show it, yeah.
The phone that was
on my
there.
phone.
I'm
I'm trying to get a picture of all this, by the way.
He gives Johan a signed, autographed Wheelock AS.
It's over there.
It's right there.
So
It's the
kind of a
vertical
little far
strap
away.
version. And then he opens up his trunk, And sitting there is the i8005. It is his old 4010 with the i8005 like label on it that he had made at work. So now I am the proud owner of the i8005, not the but a i8005. So yes, I am now the new owner of the Alertec i8005.
For those wondering, the panel is broken, but maybe he'll figure out how to fix it.
It's the old 4010 that committed toaster bath.
Yeah. I'm gonna post it in the live stream chat right now so that you guys hearing this can see this on Discord. So if you guys are just looking at YouTube, go ahead and get on Discord real quick. Everyone can see and type in that channel right now. So be sure to check that out.
And
There's
then,
that picture.
Dryden, I kind of wanted to come back to your question because you had asked it directed at me. The reason I don't really make videos anymore right now is primarily because I am both a full-time college student and fully employed with a hotel. Yeah, I can't say the name, but I work full-time and go to school full-time. Yes, over the summer because that's what happens when you switch majors. But 13 credits over the summer. Not really much time to get stuff done, and shortly after these guys leave, it's right back to finishing the homework of the week there. But I just really don't have the time, and I don't feel like the viewership's kind of that big either. I mean, I have the handful of people that really like to watch it, but recently it's just kind of a couple people that get to see it there.
What do you think, Zach? What do you think?
The board.
The fire alarm board that Jared's
it looks good. I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's put together. It's a little more put together than my system is right now. So
I feel like I'm going to get emails from Andrew because now I'm the proud owner of the Alertec i1005. So,
yeah, Andrew, please don't sue us.
Yeah.
He
Parody
knows
law.
I don't think he cares.
I don't think so. I think that I've been lucky enough to come in contact with him once since he posted his video saying that he was kind of moving on, and I think that we're all okay. I think that we're on good terms. He's a really nice guy. Please don't bother him. Please.
Yeah, don't bug him. Don't be like, as the fire city has 8005, right? And also, please don't go onto my channel and be like, can I have the 8005? Actually, I think now...
Actually, I highly endorse that you go and do that on his latest video, and you also should consider subscribing for the sole purpose of the chance to win the 8005 in the 500 subscriber giveaway.
No, I feel like you should subscribe anyway because I only have 61 subscribers. So, you know...
And that's the end of the stream.
Let me say this. You guys should be subscribed to all these people. Katie doesn't really have a YouTube channel, but
you should.
Robert is Aslan Fire Safety. If you don't subscribe to him, you should. Nick's, many of you probably know KCIN 556.
Whatever that means.
And
Explain that story here.
And
Yeah, I
can't hear that.
I can.
And then Johan's Miniman 0404. You should subscribe to all of them.
You subscribe and I'll ban you. You just building up my reputation, man. So.
Yeah, Dryden, I'll answer your question. I really like that system. In
It's like
the high
the
school.
Yeah.
In the old high school, it had a mixture of new stuff. It is a 4100 ES panel. It was just recently, within the past few years, updated from a 4100 plus, believe it or not. And it's a really nice system. It's got some new, some old, some. They didn't put ES in the panel, and they did an expansion. And they didn't put True Alert ES. I don't understand, but it is what it is. So I like that system. It's my favorite system I think I've ever got to work on.
Yeah, I think I'm up to 68 subs now.
Hey, look at that.
Look at the publicity.
I'm
you
climbing
get
the
for,
ladder.
for being on his channel.
Yeah.
You know what's next?
Yeah.
What is
What is
this
next?
to my birthday?
Oh, there you go.
That's awesome.
There actually, to answer your question there, Will, there is an Instagram account.
Dr.
You can find
Boyd.
it on Zach's.
Dr.
Oh,
Boyd
for
is
Katie's?
my 16
Yes, for Katie. She created a
Katie's-
channel about beep beep blinker siren horns.
Katie's Instagram is pull.for.candy. It's FOR.
Yeah.
For-
Okay.
for candy.
Pull for Candy, and you can see all of her posts about the Blinky
Things.
The blinky thing.
The things that just, blink, they blink.
That's a pink
Oh, somebody
sticker.
asked me if I'll ever have Siemens stuff. I never a Siemens panel. I'm not going to deal with that. That's worse than Simplex. But
Yeah, but see, you got
like
there's
the
the
old,
SXL.
the old
There's
stuff.
a system
yeah.
three.
SXL, that's
Okay, the SXL, the System 3, the
And,
System 3.
and I'm fine with things like that, but the newer stuff I can't handle. I want to get some of their horn strobes though, the Service Paratronics.
servers. That would make Dryden happy. I know he likes those.
I mean,
Look at you, Dr. Boards.
Yeah! Nice.
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 Oh.
Hey, Matt,
Oh, boy.
Katie got a question for you, so if you want to answer that question, Katie.
Ask away. I've been waiting for
And
it.
I think after we answer Nat's question, we'll pop back up to Gemcat's question, because that'll be a good segue
Why don't
into
you go
what
ahead and
got
get
us
that now?
into.
We'll wait for Nat to say
Okay,
his question.
Okay, that's sure. That's good.
Since
so.
you introduced it,
Yeah.
probably.
All right. So, in case I get lost in the comments, Gemcat asks, "Why did y'all choose something really niche like fire alarms and not a different hobby?" My honest answer is I have no freaking idea. I mean, like, I don't know.
That's a short answer.
Where I think it kind of came from was, so when you guys look at the stuff I post, like on YouTube on the Discord, it seems really specialized to like fire alarm, fire protection, that kind of stuff, because that's where I found the community that I can post. But with the stuff I actually kind of have going on in the background, I have pretty much anything that you can think of, kind of like in the industrial, electrical, mechanical kind of like space, like. Just random old antique electrical systems, anything up to even, some like audio units I'm kind of interested in, like cassettes and stuff like that. So just really a broad, sweeping kind of interest in collecting random electrical things that I just think are cool. It just so happens that with the fire alarms, I found this community online, so I kind of publicize a lot of that. Plus, there's a different aspect to it. It's kind of like a self-contained little system that you can kind of demonstrate and show off pretty easily. So I thought that was cool. But for me, where that just kind of general interest came from was just the fact that there's some pretty cool old industrial buildings that I was exposed to as a kid, and I thought the stuff in it was just really cool, and just started kind of picking up some of the stuff from when those buildings were demolished, and then got on eBay, found out that was a thing, and just kind of added whatever I thought was cool. So that's 99% of what I have is just what I randomly thought was cool. So
It's actually cool because you happened to pull some things from our area,
yeah,
and he was mentioning buildings that I actually knew of.
I pulled out one of the systems that his company had
His
serviced.
service, yeah, I recognized the logo on it, and I was like, "That's my company. I work there." and then he told me who the inspector was, he mentioned the initials, and I was like, "I work with that guy like every day." Back when I was working at that company, I actually worked with him on my last day. It was kind of cool. I'll hop in on that question too. The reason I chose it, I don't know. I always love to just figure out how things work, and it's kind of the same thing as Nick. It's gadgets, it's electrical, it's figuring it out and making it happen. So for me, I always wondered when I was a kid, I always, in terms of the alarms itself, I always wanted to know why is it that they all go off at once. It's not like I knew at home, smoke beeps in one, they all kind of go differently. I don't know.
That's a good one.
For those who can't see the Discord, Ari just posted a picture where it's lots and lots of Mac extenders, and it's a Silent Night panel, and like five boosters.
yeah.
Lots and lots.
So yeah, it's how things work. Right now I'm really interested in radio. Working on getting a ham license and maybe GMRS.
Yeah, you're taking your sweet time with those.
You know what? You want to fight? We'll fight after this.
Yeah.
Somebody had mentioned mod fights. So
Yeah,
I don't know if
we
you want to
already
go
modified.
there.
Oh,
Hey,
Okay, so System Fire 2.0 said question, everyone wants a big announcement. I think this is.
This is the big
This is
announcement.
the
We're
big
all in
announcement.
one room.
Yeah.
No,
From
no,
Texas,
listen.
from Nevada, 3 of us from Illinois, mostly in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like,
Live in both places. depending on
and
the
kind of
time.
is it okay, Omaha right now?
Yeah.
Like, all over the place. We're all over the place.
So if you really wanted to map, just like my travels this summer, San Antonio, Texas, to Stillwater, Oklahoma, to Omaha, Nebraska, and now to this undisclosed location in Illinois. So there's, I'm just not going to say it because we're going to get people knocking on our door. Okay, Katie,
Will
well,
also asked a question.
yeah.
I don't know.
So Nat asked if Katie will ever take my keys and do a system test again. I'm sure we'll see Katie in system tests. We did that as an April Fool's joke last year, and it got a lot of attention.
Which is not what we expected to be.
No, it really wasn't.
No.
We thought it was just a little funny gag, and then
Now it
you guys-
turns out they actually like you, Katie.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Best April Fool's prank ever. Robert and I were Destin and Andrew for a day.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And what's great is that NC Alarms actually has a really good impression of Destin. Like,
So we had
Yeah.
Destin with us too back when Will wanted to do that still.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a chance to answer the last question?
How we got into
about
Yeah.
Fire
are you
alarms?
guys into it?
Why you got in? Why you chose alarms instead of something else? Was the question.
okay.
We'll get to the how we got it.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I was
That's
talking about
what I was
Jen's
gonna try
question.
and, yeah. How I chose to get into alarms or whatnot. I guess part of, and I can go into more depth when we get into the real meat of it, but it started out as sort of a way to get over a childhood fear. And so in 2010 or 2011, I bought a Wheelock ZNS, new in box from eBay. And that was my first alarm. It was the ZNS. It was the alarm my middle school had and the alarm my high school had. Yeah, that's the
just looking pretty there.
Yeah.
I barely see it with the lighting.
And then when I was
That's all right.
later on
That's
at a music camp in Austin, one of the techs there was updating the system. He was tearing out the old system and putting in a new one. And so that's how I got the RSG RMS1T, the Grinnell
So
one.
many false alarms in it.
So it just kind of snowballed from there. So these jokers are big jokers, but yeah, that's just kind of it for me. I don't know. What do you
Katie,
think?
how did you get into alarms?
I met you. I really didn't know about it until like a couple years into our relationship, though.
Well, you knew that I had alarms.
I knew that you had them.
Wait, y'all two are dating?
Oh no,
Man.
Exposed. No. I didn't know really that you had
I would have brought the moderator alarm if TSA wouldn't be writing me about it there.
Hold
Oh
on.
wait, now you're gonna have to
I
explain
brought
that on the
alarms.
plane on the way back.
Oh, I didn't know about that, but I brought 4 alarms from Gentex back with me from ISC West in Las Vegas, sponsored by Fire Inspect.
Thanks to Fire Inspect.
They were
Now that's
fantastic,
my
and they were
Christmas
so
tree.
nice to meet them, and I love the app. Honestly, you should go check it out in my affiliate link in all my Las Vegas videos. Anyway, so they, I had this open bag, and I was able to get 4 alarms through TSA, no problem. Nobody said a thing.
I mean,
I'll carry on.
They're not liquid.
it's just a fire alarm.
I would have brought it, but part of my apprehension was because it's such a unique and special alarm that if anything did happen to it or the bag got thrown around, I didn't want the alarm to get damaged because it was a funny little thing to get from Zach for Christmas, and I honestly wouldn't want it to get hurt. So it's still right up on its box on the system, and if you pull that Zone 3 station, it'll go off.
Did you know that Siemens is manufactured in Nebraska? Now you know. Well, Thank you, Jack's Vacuums and Safety. I didn't actually know that. There's a spoiler? What is that? Oh, it's a Smorkalam.
Smorkalam.
It's a Smorkalam.
Oh, I should start.
My favorite picture that I've taken in the field was in the panel. You know, there's smoke detectors in the top of every elevator shaft. It was in a Siemens panel that it's a top of shark relay. And it was my favorite thing ever. I'm pretty sure whoever programmed the panel did it intentionally, and it made me laugh so hard to see top of shark relay.
You said this is going to be a family-friendly stream.
Well, it is. That's
It
right.
is. Shark is not necessarily a swear, and maybe it was just a misspelling. Either way, it made me laugh. Top of shark.
So, since pretty much everyone else answered the question,
Oh, a question I think should answer. Oh,
Hey, Zach.
Is that Comic Sans?
Hey, Zach,
Yes.
how do you feel that you don't have one of those bad boys? If you can't see it, it's the...
Ari, no.
I know, Ari, I don't have...
Ari, no.
here,
Alright, what were you gonna say?
before we do,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
before we do Nat's question, I wanted to get back to the question that was asked about
Forever ago.
about how I got into alarms. I started out.
No, that wasn't the question.
It
The
was-
question was,
Why did I choose the
Why
hobby?
do you choose
why
that?
did you choose alarms instead of anything normal?
Well,
Like
that-
cars.
Of course.
That's kind
Cars
of,
are more expensive.
Why did you all choose the hobby instead of anything
Here,
normal?
let's let him answer.
so it goes hand in hand because I didn't really choose alarms. I hate to use the stupid phrase, but I didn't choose alarms. Alarms chose me.
Oh, okay.
It was primarily because whilst on YouTube one day, the recommendations transitioned into fire trucks responding and then fire alarms, and I'm like, hey, this is really interesting. And much like Robert said there, it was a childhood fear because back in second grade, there was an actual fire at my school involving the bathroom.
Oh, geez.
So,
The bathroom was on
that,
fire?
it
Where all the
was.
plumbing is?
The trash can.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
it's not like...
No, but it was kind of that fear because we walked right by it as everything was going down and had to turn right back around and go out. But it kind of became a fear because back in the day, Spectre Alert Classics seemed really, really loud, which now they're honestly not. So it was kind of just a transition into a fear, really, from a fear to an interest, is what it was.
I've got something like that. In elementary school, I was in the bathroom when the fire alarm went off. It was a Simplex True Alert. It echoed so loud. I was in second grade. I remember it very vividly, and it scared me so much. And that was part of my overcoming of fear. So I think that's pretty
Why do
common.
you guys
Is
have like traumatic memories of fire alarms?
I don't know.
That's
I
why
never
we're
said anything.
we
No,
can't. We
well,
got
It's
into
just three of us, but I
overcoming.
mean, like,
It's
that's...
just the three of you.
Yeah.
But like,
Okay, so Nick's normal.
I don't know. I honestly just, it was kind of a normal thing in my opinion. I really didn't think much of them
And
until
you and I
like
both
sixth
know that
grade.
this is not, like, a normal thing to be into. This is very...
Oh, I know that
Yeah,
it's not a normal thing to be into because you know when you go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, I'm really into fire alarms," and they're like, "You're what?"
You what?
No, you heard me right. I collect fire alarms and I film them on YouTube and I put ads on those and make small amounts of money that I'm not allowed to
It's like when
disclose
you
for YouTube.
think about it,
Terms
it
of
is
service.
a really weird thing. And
But if you ever get cornered in that, what are your interests or hobbies question, there's a really great way that you can actually spin the entire hobby in that you collect and research commercial fire alarm systems and you like to learn more about them, really not just, I collect fire alarms and post videos on YouTube of pulling them on an iPhone 4, whatever you have. But in all honesty, you can really make it out to be something that's truly educational because if you think about it, a majority of the people sitting in both these chats know far more about commercial life safety protection systems than the average human being. And that's kind of a unique thing because there are situations where that can be really helpful.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very handy knowing about, and especially in what I do, because in my job, a lot of the people, even the higher ups, say, I would have never thought that I would be into fire protection or that I'd be working with fire protection. And to them, when you tell them that it's something that you're passionate about. Like that actually stands out to them, and it makes you in demand for the job. So that's been very handy for me, partially for this internship, but for my career in general, like where I wanted to go, the direction I wanted to go.
I actually, believe it or not, in terms of my job, I had somebody there actually tell me that they thought that it was weird that I was passionate about it, about being passionate about my job and you know, doing that. And unfortunately, this person was a person of authority. I thought he was a really nice guy, but he had to say as to whether or not I was kind of going to be advancing anymore in that company. Having him say, "I don't get why you're so passionate about it," really kind of put a downer on me.
That is really sad, because you would like to think that the people that are doing what they do every day, you would like to think that they're passionate about what they do, like they actually really like going to work in the morning. And
Right.
it's unfortunate that that's actually not as common as you think. It's not very common that people actually love their job.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very thankful that I was able to get a job where I'm very passionate about what I do. I really love learning about what I do. And I really like the fact that, not necessarily that, oh, you save lives, because I really don't care about that. I just want to help keep people safe. And I think it's actually kind of sad when the people that are actually designing and doing installations, that they don't really, it's just a job to them. It's just what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of sad that it's not something they're passionate about.
Yeah,
Is
you
it-
want to look
Sorry.
into that.
It might be.
It might
fan.
just, it might be the fan that's running. Sorry, guys. Ari asked about, and I'm sure there's other questions on YouTube that we can go back and look for, but Ari asked how we feel about NOAA weather radio and things like that. I think it's really cool. Like I said, I'm into radio. One of the things I'm really into right now is P25 networks. We have a statewide one here, and it's super intuitive and very cool, built by Motorola. But it's, in terms of NOAA weather radio, I don't sit there and actively listen to it. I don't own any dedicated weather radios.
Sorry, Ari.
Sorry, Ari, but I'm looking into getting a P25 compatible scanner at some point in my life that would also be able to have weather priority, so that when an emergency alert comes in, it'll tone out and give you that alert protected. It's kind of cool, but it's not something I'm super passionate about. But I can see where the interest for weather radio comes in. It works differently than conventional radio, so yeah, it's.
I own one, and I have it in my apartment in Stillwater, and it's really there. It's there for utility, and by that I mean, like, it's actually doing its job as a weather radio. If there's a weather situation in my area, I need to know about it. There's a tornado siren literally right across the street, but why not? I have the weather radio, and it's there doing its job. It's a WR120 for those who are keeping score.
Well, to kind of go off of what Zach said as well, I don't really talk about it much on the server, nor have I ever spoken about it on YouTube. But radio has been something that's been an interest of mine for a number of years, to the point where my senior project in high school was to get my ham radio license. That was my entire senior year, was to research and test and pass for my ham radio license. I am duly licensed in amateur radio at the technician level, and I'm also licensed in the general mobile radio service. In my area, the most common systems are still basic analog VHF and UHF systems, which, if it's not really apparent, in my area, the largest natural disaster threat is that of wildfire. And having those radios and the capability to listen into emergency frequencies, as well as be able to link with people across the state through the use of ham repeaters, has been absolutely essential in making sure that when the day comes that fire's knocking right there at the door, I've already heard it 10 minutes in advance, and I'm that much further out the door. So, as far as NOAA weather radio goes, I used to be really into that around 2012, 2013, when I lived in Las Vegas. But I kind of stopped with that ever since I moved away, because there's really nothing that I want to actively listen to on NOAA weather radio, to be honest.
You raise a good point about that. Listening to police and fire frequencies, it's a form of life safety, and I think that's something that we're all passionate about is life safety overall. Just personal opinion, I think that they really need to figure out how to get the cost of P25 scanners down. The problem is it's not all analog anymore.
No,
And you're lucky to be in an area that it's still, you can buy a $20 Baofeng radio and you can listen to any frequency you want, where for us, we're on the 700, 800 megahertz frequency, which is the same as cell phone frequencies, and it's all digital IP based, so it's really, really confusing in terms of how that works. It's not easy to listen in now, but
Hey, fire alarm. Why does We Love Fire Alarm sound like me?
See, and Miniman's like, oh, why do you sound like... why do you sound like Exosign 250? I don't think I sound like Exosign 250. He's got more of a twang than I do. Like, I don't have a twang. His voice is also a little bit lower.
Yeah, we see that go, PJ. Of course you send it during the delay.
Yeah,
That's funny.
that's good.
Yeah. Let's see.
So somebody's asking how Katie and I met. Do you guys mind if we answer
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
question?
No, it's fine.
Just because we've seen the question come up on all places now. So Katie and I met in high school. Originally freshman year in health class of all places. Oh.
Way to defuse the...
I'm sorry.
It's because
That's really
I
funny.
gave pretzel rods the name of the font.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, in the Discord chat, Pretzel Raj just posted the Simplex logo and it says full wave rectified instead of Simplex, which is really funny because Simplex doesn't work on FWR.
Thanks for explaining the joke, nerd!
What a loser. He's talking about fire alarms. Listen to this guy over here.
Stop.
You can go ahead and keep going.
Sorry,
Yeah.
so we met in high school, particularly in
Touching
health
story.
class of all places. But by sophomore year, she forgot who I was, so
Ooh.
she forgot my name.
Sophomore year of college, right?
Who'd you say you were? Why are you here?
I don't know. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
But it was sophomore year. I went up and talked to her in her gym class because I saw she was sitting alone. She was the only person I kind of knew. Clearly she didn't know who I was, but that's fine. It worked out. I started talking to her, so her and I, gym class was where we spent all of our time together, believe it or not, and we got to talking, and eventually I asked her out, worked up the courage to after a long time. Asked her out, and she said yes, and my response was, really? That is a 100% true story.
Really?
Really?
It's really
Well,
embarrassing.
I like the
know-
response in there better. That's what happened. That's the truth.
Do you want to know the first thing he said to me ever?
Hey, do you like fire alarms too?
No.
What was the first thing I ever said? Oh, I remember now.
No, the
I-
first thing he ever said to her, because I was there to see this happen,
Oh,
was,
yeah.
you guys ready? It was thanks for fire inspector to the ISC West Possible.
Hey, I really like fire and stuff, okay? Don't burn my bridge with them. Because I had a sponsor. You're just jealous.
Hey man, wildfire's a threat. You are part of the cult.
It's okay that you're a sellout.
Well, the first thing he said to me was after I was rummaging through my bag to pull out a Milky Way, he comes over and pretends to look out the window and goes,
Which I did very often.
"Is that a Milky Way?" And I gave him the Milky Way, and that was it.
Smooth.
That's a true story.
This man right here is smooth as
Yeah.
butter.
And this was before we actually started to know each other, and this is the point where I forgot him.
So you just gave it away?
No. Hey. Oh gosh. It's an HP, by the way. It's not a MacBook. It's not a.
We should compete.
I don't know what that
And,
means.
and Dad knows that.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Italian. Fire
Yeah,
alarm
that's
ravens.
actually probably a really good
So
question.
what was the question?
What made you come up with the Discord server? Yeah. What made you decide to start the Discord server?
Oh,
That's a good question.
so
Money.
I mean, everyone, Discord was very popular already at the time, but I didn't know of any servers that had fire alarms in it. I think there was one. Were you involved in it?
No, I wasn't.
It was the.
It was Iron Meds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
the only one? I was not
That's
aware
what
of
we
it at the
talked
time.
about.
I was not aware of it at the time, and I set it up, and I was like, I just wanted a community for people to be able to talk about fire and life safety and actually chat with each other.
Would a fire alarm fail, guys?
Is that Milky Way?
Instead of-
Handbasket, that image is the embodiment of our suggestions channel. Just
Correct.
from our perspective, that's exactly.
Correct.
It's
So-
that, and it's equal parts that, and equal parts the suggestion box is just going right into a shredder. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So I wanted a place for people to talk, and I wasn't expecting it to grow as popular as it did. I was gonna try to be the only person. It took off pretty quick. And originally Zachary Cordova of Best Security Systems stepped up, and he was like, "I'm gonna be a moderator," and very nice of him to do that. I think there was some time that was needed.
Always up.
What?
So
What?
It's coughing.
So, I really appreciate him stepping up for that, and obviously he's moved on to other things and ended up with this team here. Will from NC Alarms was in there for a while. He had-
Shout out to Will, you know. I think he's still
Stepped down.
there.
He was somewhere. He was just recently somewhere.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
on.
he was up there
chat.
at the top talking to us.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he was a moderator for a while, but these three have been around since kind of the beginning here, and well, these two have.
Yeah.
On another forum, literally.
Mhm.
Excuse me, I didn't authorize yes being said in my name.
And then
You are
Kate-
fake
Copyright.
news.
Oh, it's gone.
It was these three who actually said that Katie should hop in, and they kind of said it as a joke, and so we had her on as a joke.
It was literally a joke. We had okay. So if you remember, so in the show Voltron, the reboot, the character Pidge, her real name is Katie, and we're like, hey, we should totally do this thing where Katie should just pose and be like, yeah, I'm Pidge, and so she did, and like half the server bought it. Like actually, I think the whole server bought it for a while,
Yeah.
and then we just kind of made it happen. It just kind of.
We revealed her as Katie.
We revealed it
eventually.
as Katie, and then we were like, hey, is this nepotism? I think this is nepotism.
Not when you have a team of 3 other people that'll stand there and pretty much put him through all sorts of thorns and everything to make sure that we all make the right decision. So nepotism isn't really a worry of ours, especially with the amount that we communicate as a team.
Right, and I hope that you guys don't think that that's what it was, but you guys seem to like having Katie around. We like having Katie around. She's
Really
been-
quick, GT Gaming 770, it will be up on YouTube as soon as the stream's done and it processes. So if you want to watch it tomorrow, you absolutely
I feel like we got Arb a little bit triggered on the Voltron thing. Sorry? Something got pulled. There was a picture that got pulled.
can. Hey,
Is
Fire
it-
Alarm
is that-
Veteran 15, how are you?
Is that a Milky Way? I love that that's in the chat.
Oh,
Alrighty.
Robert's Apple wannabe.
I am an Apple wannabe.
Hey, I like
Yikes.
Gemcat's idea of how Zach and Katie met with the fact that Zach was staring at a fire alarm and literally ran into Katie.
Is
That sounds like a Zach thing.
I feel like that is what actually happened. They're just kind of coming up with the
You want
story.
to know what actually happened and how I
Sitting by
first saw
one.
her? Well, actually, I saw her first once passing by in the hallway. Her class was right near mine, and so I saw her, didn't really know her, thought she was cute, but moved on with my life,
Ooh.
knowing that I was going to get rejected.
That's
if
what I
said
thought about
anything.
Zach.
But then, like, this was still freshman year. I walked by and I saw her with her ex-boyfriend
Ooh.
in the hall,
Oh,
smooching.
oh no.
I said go back.
PG. Kissing is PG. But
They do that in Frozen.
yeah, see?
So let it go.
Like,
They're about to kiss in Frozen. Then he leans in and he goes, Too bad nobody loves you.
Doesn't he fall off the boat then or something like that? Right?
Yeah, he's a jerk.
That's a name. Oh
That's
no,
why he
that's
died.
fresh off the boat. That's a different
Back
show.
up.
See, you know,
I
you think he said Milky Way, but really he was walking by. He's like, "Oh, there's a system sensor MA," and then she's
There
like,
was
"What?"
no system sensor in my school.
Thank you.
There are only
Wow.
2 schools in the district that have system sensor equipment, and I went to neither of them, and I'm okay with that.
How did you know it was there?
Because I did the inspections.
Oh, you did the inspections. Okay, gotcha.
Because he has a
Mom,
job.
come pick me up. I'm scared.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
kind
me
of we're
too.
kind of revealing just how weird we are.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's pretty true. That's pretty true.
I need to film a system test.
Yeah. So
We need to get you your own system.
yeah.
Give her the i8000.
Retracted.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be giving her any addressable modules with it. So
Yeah, because Zach,
She gets addressable modules.
Zach didn't give me any addressable
She gets
modules.
what she wants.
Wow. I dare you to play this on the TV.
Ari, I couldn't get over to the
Believe me, I
TV.
Is
didn't
it
want
the-
it. I didn't ask to be mod.
Oh wait! Oh no!
Undo it. Undo it.
Just mute the stream.
Oh, yeah, I did.
I didn't ask
Okay.
to be mod.
Do I want to know?
So
This
Yeah,
is hamburger.mp4. What is that?
It was the hamburger.
Moving right along.
I've never seen that before.
And now for something completely different.
And now, the funniest thing you've ever seen from really far away.
Apple.
Thank you. You guys know what that reference is?
Yes.
It's the ASDF
Thank
movie.
you.
Actually, it's Aston movie.
As the movie.
Okay,
It's Tom
you can get
Scott
out of
says
my
it.
hotel room. I'm sorry, basement.
Yeah.
How did you meet your current boyfriend?
Can I trick your...
Oh,
How did
someone.
you
A
know?
Milky Way bar.
Oh.
That's kind of like how I met my
that,
current boyfriend.
that
Oh,
was
okay.
cool.
It's like a. Okay.
She can't believe it.
You're welcome. That'll be $25. You can Venmo me.
So on this edition of relationship advice with Katie,
Oh dear.
Thank you for joining us on Unity TV today.
I am by no means a normal human being. She should be with somebody much better, let's be honest. So.
you know, don't give her that idea because she's just gonna be like, bye.
Yeah, never. No.
Oh, wait, what have we done?
Please don't leave me. I'll never find love again. Not you.
Why do I come this far and invite these people?
I drove
into my
6
hotel
hours.
room?
You drove 6 hours.
I
I'm giving it to him. You flew.
I flew 3 hours.
I'm giving it to him.
Giving what to who?
I'm giving you the props for driving.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I was gonna
alright.
say.
So Ari brings up a good point. Stream has hit an hour. We're gonna keep going for the next 11 minutes till what is 9:15 local time. So if you guys have any questions, we're happy to answer them while we're still here.
Can we
because-
go through how we all got into it in the first place? Not
server
just
or
what, how we started our hobby. We talked about like why
Why
we
we
chose the
picked
hobby,
it.
but the question came up from Downs, I think, right at the
Yeah.
beginning,
Yeah.
asking us. How we
It was
got-
from Jim Cat, I think.
I thought it was from Downs, like you said, but maybe it
Might have
was
been from both.
I don't know from
Oh
both.
no, sorry. The other one was from. Jump cat. So I think what we're getting at by transitioning to this other question is the first time we answered it, it was kind of like why we chose it, and I think what we're going to get at is kind of like the starting story of how we actually started up what we're doing. Is that kind of what we're getting at?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I can go.
Go ahead.
So, basically, this is going to kind of roll straight out of what I already started getting into with the first question, which was, there was the some of the old industrial places that were being knocked out, and I got one box of the stuff, and it just kind of sat around for a while. But then
That's a good one. Look, there's my reaction.
That's
Make a
gold.
meme. Do it.
We're mean
Oh
guys.
my god.
Go ahead, turn me into a meme.
Oh, I already
Please,
have.
That's
We're
fun.
mean
Every one
guys.
of you already has.
I already put you on the property.
Hashtag
list.
what?
Way too many memes. Anyways, but so
Anyways, isn't a word.
anyways, it's
Uncultured
completely a
swine.
word. My goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Finish your story.
I'll try to finish my Alright, I can't say anyways anymore. Alright.
Anyway,
minutes.
yes.
Okay, you know
We
how
have
many
less.
times in my videos I say anyways? Anyways.
I
So-
mean, nobody watches your videos.
I know nobody watches my videos because there aren't any videos. But what I was getting at is a lot of the stuff just kind of sat around until I got that first panel, the Autopulse 2000. I put up one display board. It just kind of sat there for a little while. That is beautiful. And Then I got the XXL EX that you guys still see in the videos, and you know that went up on
Oh,
board.
the
So
group
that's
chat.
kind of how I started
Uh-oh.
the oh dear. That's kind of how I just started my collecting and stuff.
Oh, we leaked the image chat.
Yikes!
Big yikes.
Delete.
Delete.
Delete it, please.
Probably delete that name of the group chat.
It's just a name. I mean, it could be referring to the Colton of Linus Tech Tips.
Yeah.
Fire alarm, I am not going to be selling you cookies. I already told you
Can you
that.
buy me cookies? I really want cookies now.
Absolutely. sweetheart.
I want cookies.
Story, please. Let's
Finish
get
your
on top of it.
story.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say. I already basically
Okay,
answered this
thank you.
question earlier. Let's
Robert.
move on.
How did you finally start your collection?
Whale. When I was a young warthog.
Don't get us copyright straight.
If it's his own voice, it can't be copyrighted.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah, but I've had a
They
video.
copyrighted Gus Johnson on a freaking
That's spam.
They copyrighted Gus Johnson.
We're gonna get sued when we see Cold Scurry up.
Oh,
Which he wrote.
no.
You wrote the lyrics to, by the way. I just performed it.
If you know, you know. Anyways, Robert.
So I was in elementary school.
Really
kindergarten.
fast. Evan Bart, we are not streaming on any other platform. It's just Zach's channel for now. The VOD will be uploaded to other channels later.
Yes, and Matt, I'm seeing your enunciator. That looks like a notifier, and I forget what the.
And then
Yeah.
100, I think.
It's not an ANN. It's no, it's not.
It looks like a fire
I'll see
alarm
100.
device.
Yeah,
It looks like a fire alarm. I'm
It's
pretty
a
sure
fire
a
alarm. Okay, so-
maybe FCI.
Whoa. Okay.
Wait,
Tell your
okay.
story and ignore.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell the story and just kind of ignore the
DFA
chat.
can mean a couple things, so
Let's just all be silent while he tells us.
Yeah.
I was in elementary school, and I walk in, and the way that my elementary school did their fire drills for a while was it played a high-low over the PA system, and it didn't actually activate the alarm system, which was, by the way, an EST2 with integrities and the GE 2 SPOs for those who are keeping score at home. It was an EST2 system. And I walk in, I get off the bus in the morning, and the alarm's going off. And I'm like, what's going on? At this point, I didn't really like loud noises. So I was like, what's going on? And I was kind of freaking out. And one of the teachers told me that the fire alarm was going off. And so I was like, I kind of don't want to be in the building right now. So that was kind of just how my attitude was toward fire drills in elementary school. I really didn't like going to school if I knew there was going to be a fire drill. I hated fire drills. And that kind of stayed that way until kind of mid to late middle school. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to learn about these things. They're a little bit weird, but I kind of want to learn about them. And so around the 8th grade, I kind of got into the hobby. Not really on like web forums, but on YouTube. Right? I didn't have a YouTube channel at the time. I eventually did get one, but it started with YouTube, and then it moved towards DFA. That's Davidson Fire Alarms.
not Ari.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Davidson Fire Alarms. We hardly knew you.
I hate you, Jake Jordan.
Ooh.
We have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let me truncate this to say it kind of just all went
It's
downhill from
truncated.
there. So yeah.
Alrighty. You want to go for it?
Pretty much the same story as I told earlier. It was kind of just because YouTube videos transitioned from one thing to another, and you know how lit that algorithm is now. So yeah, what was originally a hobby in building 1/18th scale police car models slowly turned into fire alarms, and kind of continued collecting devices throughout the years. And it took me forever to finally get the MS5UD, and now it's just kind of a little thing that I keep as a memory of things that I've done in the past there.
Stop it.
Just ignore the chat, please. Keep going. One at a time.
Really quick, Aiden, Fortnite bad, Reddit good. So, yeah, it was pretty much just the YouTube algorithm that got me into it. Not really anything else beyond that, and the collection's kind of grown to about 50 devices or so, but nothing crazy. So, yeah, that's my story. Nothing interesting.
I started collecting. Well, before that, I was interested in it, and I wanted to figure out how they worked. And I started Googling and YouTubing, and I found videos by Andrew Davis, New Age Server Alarm, and I was like, I thought it was so cool that he had a system in his house, one that he built. I wonder who else is trying to build a panel and is really kind of failing with that.
Everybody at some point.
I know.
Everybody has those days.
Nope. So
Hey.
we, the first device I actually ever had was first device I actually ever had was some EST Genesis series strobe. I didn't know what I was doing. I went on eBay, convinced my parents to buy me this $20 device, paid for it with my own cash.
Wow.
To them, and
Spoiler alert, he's broke.
well, then I plugged it into what I thought was a power supply that worked, and it didn't. So, me being the idiot, we got it returned, and the guy was supposedly nice, and it was returned. And then like I said, I was given a few devices. For my birthday in 8th grade, I was given a BG-10 as my first ever pull station. All the false alarms.
I could never think of the words Firelight BG-10 without referencing to the New Age Server Alarm video.
Yeah. This is my Firelight BG-10. I really like it because it's really cool. It's just like
You
that.
do that a little bit too well.
Could someone clip that, please?
You're missing the original when he showed how they activated falsely. He's like a repeat of the famous Seawood watch.
See, look, wood, watch.
No,
No, it's just C would
See,
watch.
oh, I'm sorry, I messed it up. Look at me, I'm fired.
dummy.
Yikes.
Well, yeah.
Thanks.
So was my
So
job.
anyway, I got that, and then I eventually got the panel and some alarms, and that's where I took off. Then I started getting more and more. That panel blew up because I was an idiot, shorted out the wires, and I was actually given the PFC, the Potter PFC 5002.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you.
Yes,
I mentioned
thank
that earlier when you did the destroyed one.
I thought it was really funny, Ari.
That
I
was
like
that was
video.
good.
Slaps roof of BG-10. It's caused so many
Good.
false alarms.
Bill.
Got the 5002 from. I'm trying to think of his YouTube name. Tornado Freak 1994.
I
Thank
remember
you.
that.
He's running free. I don't think he makes videos anymore.
He doesn't very much, but I've been in contact with him here and there. Really nice guy. He got me hooked up with some stuff, and I really appreciate that. Also, happens to be from the area of us, and
Jeez.
I know there's a lot of people in the area here, so
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. But from there, I took off and started buying my own panels. Eventually got the 9200 UDLS, which is sadly rest in
Hey,
peace.
look, it's Ryan.
And
Hey, I remember JJ Video 25.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
cool.
I also
He actually
remember,
had a pretty good.
you all remember Soccer Dude, right?
Oh yeah,
Charlie?
Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah,
Yes,
I remember.
Really liked his videos.
I bet
I
no
feel
one.
like the whole meetup thing. I think it started with him because he did a video. He was a system test, and towards the end of the video, he was like, "Yeah, it's getting kind of hot in here. Let's open up the garage door." And he opens it up, and on the other side, of the, like outside, is Video Gamer 24385
Yeah.
Matt Ullman sitting on
These are
Sentry.
the old guys. These are the old people.
These are the old people. I don't even think most of these people know who we're talking about.
They
but-
might not.
It was Matt Ullman, Video Gamer 24385, sitting on a tornado siren, and I think it sort of became it sort of started the whole meetup thing for the fire alarm enthusiasts. So it's kind of cool that like it started with that, and here we are now.
Yeah, it's kind of been really interesting to watch. You know, I've been in the hobby for the better part of 8 years now, and I mean, I was raised on New Age Server Alarm and
So was I.
Destin and all
Destin.
that. It's kind of really been interesting to watch the tail end of their work transition into what we do. And I don't mean to speak in a pompous manner, but, you know, kind of as some of the figureheads in the community, it's really been a privilege to watch this place grow and develop over the years and watch all of these new collectors that we see both in Discord and YouTube come into play here and see quite a bit of what happens. It's really been fun to watch the place grow.
Well, that's right. Ryan did write those that software for the the web panel interface. I remember that. Whatever happened to that, Ryan? Why can't we have that again? Andrew's i8005. Hey, you mean my i8005?
Yeah.
The i8005 had so much potential if you program the raw pick chip in C instead of pickaxe based. Well, you know, you live and you learn.
Right.
I feel like if Andrew
my
had gone-
8005, I loved what Andrew did with that.
Yeah, it's just a shame it only lasted for like 2 videos.
I
But
know. I would love to see that come back just once.
or
I'd love to see
if it was like Arduino based, because you could program that, as Ryan said, in C instead of like pickaxe basic. But
Even if you tossed a TIMSP series chip in there, those are pretty versatile for that kind of thing. But speaking of meeting up, I think it's getting towards the end of the night, towards the end of the stream.
It's starting to get hungry.
Hey, I want
We want
dinner.
to go grab
Yeah.
some dinner.
It's 9:15 and we haven't had dinner all day, so thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with us. Hopefully we'll get to do another event like this sometime in the relative distant future. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the live stream chat. We'll see if we can catch them there. But thank you again all for joining us and coming in at such an odd hour for a live stream.
Yeah. I'm really glad we got to all meet up here. It's really
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really good for a spur of the moment trip.
Yeah. So thank you guys all for coming online here for what we were kind of fooling you with the announcements. We hope that we answered some of your questions you had and just got to kind of hang out with us for an hour and a half or so here. So hopefully everybody has a good night. I think we're gonna go ahead and close up shop here.
Well,
So-
as New Age Server Alarm would always say, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.